Hi, and welcome to another Cadence Tech video. Today we are going to talk about the United lineup of amplifiers. This is a wide variety of amplifiers. In this lineup we have both A, B class amplifiers, and we also have D class amps. This will give you an advantage to when you're looking at buying an amplifier or a line of amplifiers for your stereo system. And I'll get more into that in a little minute. First, I want to talk about the amplifier's basic connections. Now, I'm going to be very general on this because I've got both 5 channels, 4 channels, and monoblocks, such as this amplifier right here. So you're going to have, obviously, your standard inputs here, level controls. If you happen to be in a 4-channel, we would have something low pass and a high pass crossover. We also have bass boost controls. This gives you about a 45 hertz bass boost. And on the monoblock amplifiers, we also have what's called a subsonic boost. Now, this is a shelving circuit that allows you to boost the lower frequencies, much lower than 45 hertz. We're talking in the 30 to 20 hertz range. And then also a subsonic. Now, subsonic is really important when you're doing such as a port enclosure, a bandpass enclosure, where we need a high pass crossover to basically control the low frequency output, because once you get past the tuning frequency of the ports, you lose power handling. So we need that control in there. You also happen to have a phase switch. This allows you to do, this phasing switch here allows you to help basically pull the subwoofer forward. Sometimes the mid-bass and subwoofers are out of phase with each other, and instead of unwiring it from this side of the amplifier, we simply give you a switch. You also have a remote. This comes with a standard remote that you would use. This is a 16, 17 foot cable that goes front of your car, and this would allow you to control the level output of your subwoofer if you don't want to use your radio as the control. Also in the monoblocks, only in the monoblocks, we have the ability to slave 2 amplifiers together. That's what this little switch right here is for. This is a master and a slave switch. And this allows us to take the data link from one amplifier to the other, and we can take 2 of these smaller amplifiers, such as the Dakota here, and turn it into one large amplifier. If I had 2 Dakotas in here, I would have over 2,000 watts of power. The other thing that we have is standardized connecting. We've got 4-gauge and aught type inputs, depends on the size of the amplifier, remote turn on, and of course also your outputs. These outputs can be varied from 5 channels to a single mono. We also have all our fuses or external amplifiers to make it very easy, just in case you decided to turn it up a little too hard. So anyway, back to what I was going to say about the ABs versus D-class amplifiers. Basically, in a nutshell, AB amplifiers give you a better overall sonic presence, meaning that your mid-bass is cleaner, your subwoofer is cleaner, and what this means is we're talking about tightness, we're talking about the grip, the fast feel of the driver itself. So an AB, the problem with ABs is that they're not efficient. They're not a very efficient amplifier, and that's where a D-class comes in. A D-class is much more efficient in comparison to an AB in the mid-power range. So for instance, let's say we're looking at a subwoofer setup. We've got this Dakota in the system. I could run a pair of 12s on here, and if I happen to have the same 1200 watt AB class amplifier at mid-power, it would require more current on your electrical system. And that's not necessarily a good thing. So that's where our D classes are coming into play. So you can use our 4 channels and our monoblocks together, and you have comprise an entire system. We also make it simple for you is that we also happen to have a 5-channel in the lineup. This 5-channel gives you think of it as a midline system, and we're talking about 300 watt mono on the subwoofer and 65 4 by 75 watts on the rest of the stereo. Now that would be a great daily driver, simple, easy, get in, drive, punch, have a great time. But for the people who want to have a whole lot more fun, you break up the amplifiers. So you have a big, large 4-channel, and that's what we have. We have 2 4-channels. We have one that's 4 by 95. Oh no, I'm sorry, 4 by 90. And then the other one is 4 by 135. So we're talking drastically huge power differences between the 2 amplifiers. And then of course here in the monoblocks we actually have 2 kissing cousins, one being a 2 ohm design and the other one being a 1 ohm design. This allows you, if you already happen to have subwoofers, we'd be able to get you in the load that you need. We also have the cousin to the Dakota, known as the Olympia. That is a monoblock 2,000 watt amplifier, and that will pretty much cover just anything you want to have for your basing needs. So anyway, that is the United lineup of amplifiers.